Hi, I'm Xenowave. Today I'm going to show you how I made these three sounds. Sound number 2. And here's context for sound 2. And sound number 3. And context for sound 3. And then further context. And so on. So, let's get started with our stab. Alright, so in the unison section we have a unison order of 9. Unison oscillators are only turned on, 100% panning and volume. Unison pitch is at 33%, sublevel is at 0, and unison phase is at 80%, and there's no envelope variation. I do have high quality envelopes on, and yeah. Operator 1 is just a saw wave, that's it. Operator 2 is another saw wave, but detuned at a ratio of 1.984. Filter 1 is where the magic happens, so I just have this cutoff envelope for my vanilla low pass. So let's go back here. That's what that sounds like when it's all stripped down. So I have high quality single mode on, and I have a LFO amount of 25%. This really affects the range in which the filter cuts off the sound. So no cutoff when it's off, and then max range. You're gonna get some weird artifacts if you do it like that, though. And I have default cutoff and 38% resonance. And of course, keep in mind that when you, let's take a step back. I had this shape and I looped it, but when you loop something, keep in mind that the value of the first point has to be the same value as the last point. That's just how it is. And I have the tempo on, so it cuts off by the 8th note. Alright, so that's that. And I serialized in the filter 2, which is our phaser. This is just for timbral purposes. I just have high quality flat alternate triple mode for 10 poles, and then multiply it by 9 by routing it to the unison index mapping. And I do the same thing for the resonance, just different shapes. Yeah. And cutoff is at 47%, doesn't really matter. LFO amount and resonance are both default, and I have a negligible amount of distortion. Doesn't quite matter as much. And over the effects, I have just a coarse order of 9, and all these sliders are defaulted, and set your reverb to taste. And that's really it for this sound. Alright, so let's work on the smooth chords. So in operator 1, we have a square wave, if that sounds like solo. I have the volume envelope decaying on the quarter note to start on tempo and put your envelope point right here. And then I introduce operator 2 modulating operator 1. So operator 2 is just a saw wave, and I have a similar volume envelope, but it ends at the 8th note instead of the quarter note. And I have the volume set to positive 14%, or if you type it in, it says 57%. And basically what's happening is the FM amount is going from this positive 14% down to 0 with this. Because, again, FM is the volume of the modulating operator. And it sounds like this. Not too pleasant. So we go over to the filter section. So in filter 1, we have a vanilla low pass filter. High quality flat to mode is on. Cutoff or LFO amount is at 21%. Cutoff is at 36%, and there's no resonance. And this is just my volume envelope for filter 1. Honestly, it's negligible. If you turn it off, it sounds the same. But I guess when I was making this, I did this first before doing the cutoff. The cutoff envelope is very, very similar. So you can shape this how you want. And of course, you can also adjust the cutoff or the LFO amount. And over in the effects, I have basically the same envelope for the volume. And in the chorus, I have a chorus order of 9, 100% chorus depth, no speed, no delay, 100% spread, cross, and volume. And then again, reverb is just whatever you want, honestly. It's not too essential to making the sound itself. Yeah. And that's it for these chords. Okay, so let's go over the last sound. In the unison section, we have unison order of 3. Unison panning and volume are at 100%. Unison pitch is at 75%. There's no sub-level. Unison phase is at 82%, and there's no envelope variation. As always, feel free to change these as needed. Operator 1 is like a sine triangle combo. The shape slider is like around the second tick, give or take. And this is my volume envelope. Make sure tempo is on. Operator 2 is a similar shape. It's just I have the shape slider pushed up a little bit past the second tick, between the second and third, and there's a little bit of tension as well between the fourth and fifth tick. You can also shape this volume envelope how you want. Just make sure it's looping and tempo global is on. And over here, I have a pitch envelope that I'm looping as well. So here's what it sounds like. First, here's what it sounds like by itself. And then we introduce operator 2 FMing operator 1. So that's all for texture for later in the sound. And I have the volume at positive 4%, or just 52% to type it in, and the ratio is at 8. And then operator 3 is just a saw wave. I copied this pitch envelope to operator 3, and this is my volume envelope, and I'm looping that as well on the quarter note. Make sure tempo and global are on. And on top of that, yeah, I'm between the three voices, I'm spreading out the pitch at a range of 36 cents right here on the pitch envelope or eligible amount. And the volume is at positive 8%, or if you type it in, it's at like 54%. And that's it for the main sound. Pre-filter. It didn't sound good. but much like the last sound, once we get the filter, it's like magic. I don't know. So for filter 1, I have a Lime low pass on, high quality flat, instrument promoter on. The cutoff is in the actual song, I'm automating the cutoff directly, and the feedback is that, or resonance is this default. And what I did was copy operator 3's volume envelope to filter 1's, and that's really it for the filter. And for the effects, operator 1's volume envelope is, I believe, copied over to the effects. And I have a chorus order of 9, 100% chorus depth, 80% chorus speed, 6% chorus delay, 92% chorus spread, 100% chorus cross, and 100% chorus volume. These are just the options I picked when shaping the sound, and I will go over reverb because that definitely helps the texture of the sound. Here's what it sounds like without the effects. Versus this. So yeah, the low cut is at around 930. High cut is off, no pre-delay. Max room size, max diffusion. Decay is around 0.4 or 5 seconds. Default high damping, maxed out volume, and the delay is any delay is just 1. Feedback level is at 4%. Delay time is at 4 milliseconds. I had the stereo offset 4.7 milliseconds to the right, and delay volume is at 50%. And I have ping pong on, and that's the sound. Feel free to change anything, any and everything, doesn't matter. Main things are how it's routed to the filter, and really it's just volume automation. And of course you can take away FM, you can add FM, you can turn off these pitch envelopes and get probably a different sound. Yep. So let's see what happens if I just take operator 4 and modulate it. Or not modulate. Modulate operator 1 by modulator 4. Operator 4. So yeah, that's the sound. If you have any questions, please let me know, and have an awesome day.